Alright, you guys, so today we react to Saweetie finally responds to the allegations. I know y'all see this shit. Look how fucking, hold on, my bad. Look how crisp I am. I get a little closer though. Watch this. With the turn, and I'm even crispier. Y'all don't see this? Hey, if y'all know about tropical smoothie, I'm missing out. I used to work here, fun fact. Is everybody feeling good today? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great actually.
Serious allegations, and since then things have escalated to the point where she finally responded to the allegations. So the story was this: a woman who claimed to be her former road manager, her name was May, went viral after accusing Saweetie of basically moving like an escort.
Y'all ain't get to see it. Hold on, let me back it up. So if y'all didn't know, basically this chick is like, she's like the mama san in the entertainment professional industry, right? She connects good-looking chicks to high-profile dudes, and then they just basically hit them for a lick. Through their feminine ways, of course. They don't just hit them over the head, right? So basically, she sends chicks out. Chick goes to him, gets some bread. She gets her 10% or however much she's taking, and then that's the case. Basically, with this situation, Saweetie didn't want to give her 10%, and she just wanted to keep all the money for herself. When that happened, maybe like, I ain't having it. I'm gonna put all your business on Front Street, you little coke addict. And like, that's where it just went sideways. But yeah, Saweetie tried to she landed him a good trick, and she just wanted to keep it.
Accusing Saweetie of basically moving like an escort. She even posted alleged screenshots of Saweetie asking how much she could run it up on Premier League football star Jaden Sancho, who Saweetie is currently dating, implying it wasn't romance, it was just business. And instantly, once those allegations hit the internet, the situation blew up because it feeds directly into a narrative people have quietly speculated about Saweetie for years, which is that she allegedly treats relationships more like business moves than anything romantic. Now, this was trending for hours and actually days, and it didn't slow down. It kept feeding the conversation online, especially because the accuser, May, claimed she was only exposing Saweetie because Saweetie, did the dash with her money. She ran with the money, right? And she didn't pay her for these services like she was claiming. And it even got crazier when she referred to Jaden Sancho, the Aston Villa player Saweetie is currently dating, as a client, which is
all right. Now, I know what a lot of y'all may be thinking, right? Why would, a guy with a promising future in football, right? Have all his teeth, has hair, you know what I'm saying? All this money, all this, you know what I'm saying? Why? Why do it? Why? Because by this guy hooking up with a chick like that, like the chick he's probably always wanted, she'll look like he wants. I don't know if she'll do everything else like he wants, but I'm pretty sure it's like more of a, you could probably kind of call it like a fetish thing, really, because it's like oh, no one can have her, she's mine. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's on some like keep away, but at the same time he's breaking his pockets.
Obviously a serious accusation, because that wording makes it sound like this was never personal, it was strictly transactional. Very escort-like. Now, up until this point, Saweetie had been completely silent, but after watching this spiral for days, she finally decided to respond to the allegations. She put up a statement on her Instagram and didn't deny it softly.
I ain't gonna lie. Saweetie is tough though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not breaking the bank over it though. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it.
She actually fired back with legal action. Her statement specifically said, and I quote, "The recent accusations made about me are false, defamatory, and deeply disturbing. These claims misrepresent the facts and are solely aimed to damage my reputation. This person never managed me. She was simply introduced to me by family. Her motives are now obvious. I'll let the lawyers take it from here." So basically, Saweetie was making it clear this wasn't some internet drama anymore. This is legal territory. And honestly, I think this was the right type of response for a few reasons. First of all, no matter what you or me personally think about Saweetie, she does have the right to defend herself, because as far as we know, these are still just allegations. Nothing has been proven, and that's why I think it's important to cover both sides of this conversation.
Okay.
Someone came out and claimed she was involved in something wild. That's their side. But obviously the person making those claims has their own motives, especially if money is involved, which we know. And then you have Saweetie on the other end, who's not just pushing back against the escort allegations, but also against a whole list of other accusations, because it didn't stop there. Maybach May also accused her of doing cocaine, being involved in witchcraft, and even said that liquor is one hell of a mix. So
Hold on. I'm gonna let him continue. But the best thing you can do when the worst thing you can do, when someone's calling you something or like, oh, he's a liar, and then no, I'm not. No, in the moment you start to fight the allegations, that means you're getting emotional about it. So there must be some truth to it. You know what I'm saying? Just play it cool. Fine. Hey, look, take a couple deep breaths, say whatever, and keep it pushing. Even if you are a liar, don't let them know that.
you have someone coming for you like this publicly, aggressively, and throwing around serious accusations, it's deeper than just drama on Saweetie's end. Her name is her vehicle for money, her brand, her image. That's how she gets deals, brand partnerships, sponsorships, appearances. So accusations like this hit directly at her earning power. Now, on the other side of things, even if any of this was true, let's be real, she's not going to come out and admit it. It wouldn't benefit her, obviously. So we're left in that gray area of her word versus the accuser's word. And honestly, I don't think this woman is going to say anything else after this. I mean, Saweetie, at the end of the day, she got resources, she got lawyers, a very powerful team. And if you look at situations like this historically, the bigger celebrity almost always tries to make an example out of the accuser to deter anyone else from trying something like this in the future, right? And then we have 25-year-old Jaden Sancho, who caught...
Why do I look so orange? Do y'all see it? Like, I look really orange. Hold on. Maybe there's something in my settings that's off. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hold on. I just look dumb orange right now. Let me see. I feel like an old man right now. Let me see. My saturation is boosted for whatever stupid reason. Hold on, y'all. I'm fixing it. It might get me to like some level of normal. I was like, why am I so orange? Shit. That looks more realistic because I don't know what that was. Yeah, that looks more. I think that's good. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can tune this brightness down too. I don't really need the screen to be super bright if we're this crispy. You know what I'm saying? Alright, I'm going to apply that. Call it a day. Let's see what we're working with. See? I knew I looked too orange.
A stray bullet in all this, or a couple actually, figuratively speaking. He just got dragged into a bunch of mess, a bunch of gossip, a scandal that has nothing to do with football. Now, speaking of Jaden, the accuser actually went after him as well. She posted another story accusing him of inhaling balloons, laughing gas, I assume, right? And even included an alleged conversation where he claimed he wasn't able to reach Saweetie after an argument back in March. Now, that's a whole other topic, obviously, and I'm not going to go down that path. Very irrelevant to what we're focusing on today. But the point is, I don't think more is coming out right now unless the accuser wants more smoke, which...
Yeah, no. I don't believe... Here's the thing. It's kamikaze like... Hold on, my bad. It's kamikaze like activity, but it's not at the same time. It's like she's just trying to blow up your spot. She's not trying to blow up her spot. You know what I'm saying? And you got to think, she has other tricks. He's not the only one. He's not the only trick, I promise you that. And with that being said, you know what? That might be one of her big cash cows. That's what it is. That's why she wants him back that bad. But I'm pretty sure her whole operation ain't blown. And maybe what if he's not one of the biggest cash cows? What if... Actually, no, I think he is. I think he was like a really promising rookie who just didn't like play out how he's supposed to. What if she's just on some vengeful, like you're not about to trick me up out my trick, like, you You know what I'm saying? You know, she like tricks up for kids. I got a sweet tooth. Like I mean, I don't know what she got going, but shit. You know, this is their beef, not mine.
Seems very unlikely, but regardless, this is going to shape the way people view Saweetie going forward. And it's one thing when people hear rumors through the grapevine. It's completely different when someone goes public with screenshots and calls your current man a client. And it actually reminds me of how her relationship with Quavo ended. For anyone who doesn't remember, a few months before they officially broke up, Quavo actually gifted Saweetie a custom Bentley as an early Christmas present. It was a whole moment, right? And Saweetie was ecstatic when she found out that Quavo was doing this. Like a lot of people know, they were in a very public relationship, always online, always watched and always posting about each other. But after things ended, reports surfaced that Quavo actually sent a repo man to take the Bentley back. For my international viewers, that basically means the car was reclaimed and taken away. According to earlier reports, Quavo had actually leased a car in his own name, and the deal included an option that allowed him to terminate the contract early after the breakup. Now, multiple outlets later claimed that wasn't true and that the car was never repossessed actually, but then Quavo came out and confirmed it himself. This is what he said on a song with Drake.
Before he gets to that, that is fucking genius. That is genius. That is genius. To put that in writing. He can reput at any time. But it's in his name. Like, if it's in his name and he's making payments or whatever, that's his car. He just let you drive it. You know what I'm saying? You could be on the insurance, but that don't mean it's your whip. You know what I'm saying? But that's genius, Quay. Did y'all see that fight in the elevator? Or the little tug of war they had over that bag? Man. Saweetie a handful.
She had it her way, now she out of a Bentley. Skrrr. So whether it actually happened or not, the message was clear. Quavo implied that the relationship came with conditional benefits. Money, status, maybe even tricking, depending on how you look at it. And that's the point, right? No woman wants this type of narrative attached to her name, especially when she's a public figure like Saweetie. Most of us can see what's going on though, we're not dumb. But these women don't want to be in a position where their entire value is publicly reduced to which man they're standing next to or how much pum they're willing to give up in exchange for some coins, okay? And they especially don't want to put the men they're with in a situation where it looks like they're being used, although they may not feel like they are, right? Because most of these very powerful, wealthy, and extremely influential men, they got a whole lot of money. So for them to kind of like blow it on a person or like a woman, right? It's not a big deal for them. And also the fact is a lot of these powerful dudes with money and resources are always going to be attracted to beautiful women. That's not new.
That's something too you got to take into account. He has so much money. Him blowing a bag on a chick is like blowing a bag on a trick. A chick is like he goes into Walmart, spends about $180, $200 on groceries. That's probably the equivalent of him spending like 10 grand on a chick in a month. I'm telling you, and it's probably more than that. I'm just throwing a random number out there. You spend $200 at the grocery store every couple weeks. It adds up. That's $800. And you got just 10x that shit. That's $8,000. That other $2,000 is gonna cover the extra inexpenses that we don't know about, the extra BS that we don't care about, or maybe the just because money. Just because you should go shopping today. Just because you should get your hair did. Just because you want to get your new deals. There's a lot of just because and why nots and whatnots. I'm just not doing that shit. I promise you. If I had it like that, fuck that. Everybody around me earn their bread. You good to me, I'll take care of you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go broke about you, but that's how it should be, But I'm pretty sure she does bare minimalistic stuff because I don't know Saweetie, but I'm pretty sure Saweetie don't know how to really cook like that. And I'm pretty sure Saweetie don't know how to do taxes or, you know what I'm saying? Like but her looks is her greatest superpower. She can set up your ops.
A lot of women who may not be as rich or successful are naturally going to want something in return: access, protection, opportunities, lifestyle, you name it. So yes, it's two grown adults making an exchange, and as long as it stays private and consensual, it really is nobody's business. But the second it reaches the public, Blackie gonna speak on it, right? But it becomes a topic of conversation for a hot minute, and then we all move on until it resurfaces once again. We do have to touch on the fact that more often than not, however, with situations like this, somebody ends up getting taken advantage of. And I'm specifically talking about prostitution, right? And I'm not even saying that's the case here, by the way. I just want to make it very clear. Obviously, these are allegations, right? I'm talking in general. Once money, power, and sexuality mix, that dynamic gets murky real quick. And the issue with normalizing this type of arrangement is that it sends the wrong signal to the world and other people, but especially young women watching. Like, guys.
All right, so I believe everything has a place in this world, you know? Like, even stuff like that. Because there's some guys out here that just can't. They just can't get with a chick, whether they're always putting their foot in their mouth or they're just goofy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or what we'll call it, like, lack of confidence, social awkwardness, you know, quick to anger, things like that. I don't know. Don't like the nuances of dating. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that like, you know, it's an unspoken rule, but it's still a rule. Like, you're gonna pay for the first date if you ask a chick out. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that says you have to pay or she has to pay. But 9 times out of 10 as the guy, you're going to pay. And if she wants your time, and the odd chance she does, and she pays for it, then great. But I'm going on a tangent here. The main thing I'm trying to get to is, if stuff like that didn't exist, then certain guys, I believe there would be more, you know, grapings, you know what I'm saying? Grape pickings and whatnot. That'll definitely be what happens. In theory, because look at it, right? Can't go nowhere and buy it. Can't find it and get it. So what's the next option they're gonna run to? Take it. Not a good look, and it's a bad thing. But if there's a chick out there who's willing to, you know, get down for a little coin, it is what it is. Like, she don't want to work a job. She want to do this. This pays her. You know, this guy doesn't potentially catch a case. It's a win-win for everybody, right? I'm just saying. But I'm gonna let him keep preaching.
An example, there's already a whole sugar daddy culture that's normalized in a lot of places around the world. I'm sure some of y'all have heard about that, but a sugar daddy is essentially where a man with money, usually an older gentleman, funds a woman's lifestyle, usually a younger woman. And in some cases, she may not even give up the pom-pom, the pussy. The guy's just happy to be in close proximity to an attractive woman who makes him feel like she cares, right? But let's be honest, in most cases, she does give it up, just enough to keep that income stream flowing to her bank account. And yeah, it might be two grown adults making a decision, but that doesn't mean the situation is healthy or balanced. And what's even crazier is these days, I've been personally seeing older women, like a lot of older women, literally teaching younger women how to run this type of game online. Like, there are entire communities and even businesses built around this. So essentially, they teach a lot of young women how to target wealthy men, how to study them, how to emotionally manipulate them, and kind of create a situation where you're always coming out on top and you get the money, right? So the question then becomes are there any morals in teaching young women to weaponize their feelings, their bodies, and hustle people for cash? I don't think so. With that being said, I wouldn't look at a man as a victim in that situation, just like I wouldn't see Saweetie as a victim if, let's say, you know, what she did with Jaden Sancho was purely transactional, right? If that was the case, I wouldn't look at her as the victim. And then I also wouldn't look at, let's say, a man who's kind of in this sugar daddy dynamic. I wouldn't look at none of these two cases like a victim, right? However,
Hold on now. When a cat's in that, when you're, all right. If you're in the sugar daddy role and you know that's what you're doing, you're just breaking her off. That, you're breaking off, but you're not breaking her off. You get it? No, oh my goodness. He knows he's in that position. Like, but for the guys who don't know better, one, you shouldn't just be throwing money away to a chick you ain't never touched, and you probably never gonna touch. That's not what we're doing. You can go look. What we need to go back to is the old school way of things. And you know what that is? I'm gonna tell you like my pops told me. He told me that a chick will be at AutoZone or whatever auto part store was called at the time. She'd have car trouble. He knew how to fix car shit. He get down there, get grimy, whatever. She offer him some lemonade or whatever, or a water, or ask him if she could make him a meal or something. And then by then, he get to, digging it, you know what I'm saying? That's it. Nowadays, a lot of us young brothers ain't got skills. I got skills, you know what I'm saying? I don't live enough life on my own for long enough to figure some stuff out. All right, my dad wasn't in my life, but hey, I had Papa T. Boy, I had Papa T. That boy, hey, Willie Wayne do his damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't even know about that one. Anyways, but yeah, that's just it, bro. We need to go back to the old school way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to fix stuff. Shit. Build up some furniture. I'm pretty sure that gets you some box.
And this is important. My concern with this kind of normalization of this type of thing is, what does it really do to a lot of the younger women in the world watching? That's what worries me. Not the older women who already understand the risks, like a Saweetie who's a grown woman, obviously, but the ones who are impressionable and don't see the trap coming. Because there is a caveat to all this, okay? I'm talking about that 16 or 17-year-old girl who hears an older woman bragging about how she's running up a bag just by spending an hour or two with some 65-year-old man, and suddenly she thinks that's a viable option. So now in her world, that looks like an easier path than working, building skills, or actually betting on herself and getting it out the mud the proper way like the rest of us. And honestly, it probably is easier, but only for a very short time. She goes down that path and gets flown out to all these different places, surrounded by other women who are already in that lifestyle, hyping her up, and she might think that she's winning for a period of time until shit gets real, before she even realizes that she's no longer in control. What started as luxury and I got flown out vibes can very easily slide into full-on exploitation. And yes, in the worst cases, like we all know, that's how a lot of young girls end up in trafficking situations, okay? Or even worse, their faces end up on the news. I've heard plenty of stories like that. Because once you step into a world controlled by money and power, there's no guarantee you get to walk out on your own terms, okay? That's just a fact. At that point, it's not about what you want anymore. It's about what they decide. And that's when a lot of these young girls finally realize this was never about empowerment. Those older, washed-up women lied to you. It was a trap. You thought it was a game of luxury, but really, it was about ownership, and you are now owned. And also, let's talk about the fact that a lot of the men who engage in this lifestyle aren't saints either. So from the start, you're placing yourself in the hands of people who don't care about your safety, your dignity, or your future. I don't personally want to live in a world where my future daughter thinks exchanging her body for coins is an option.
Because now you're going to be looked at as a thing, not a person, but a thing, an object to be played with and thrown away when it's time to throw away. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. By the way, I ain't saying nothing about it, but Brody, that is one smooth, fly-ass work. I just realized something. Bro, I always thought that face was a white guy. He's black like me. Look at that. Look at us. We're winning. YouTubers.
It's not respectable. It's not something we should teach young people, period. Or should I say period? It's just always better to earn your own money or build with someone you genuinely love, stack together, grow together. That's healthy. That's the right way to do things. Because there's a right way to do shit, right? And this shit right here that we're talking about, it's very dysfunctional. Stories like this are warnings. They show what society is on the verge.
Bro, you see them nails? That's gross, bro. Why? What's the point of it? What's the point? Because it's different? Shit looks stupid. It looks ratchet. That's what it do.
Verge of normalizing. And I think most people listening, I would hope, agree this ain't it. Now, as for Saweetie, we're going to see how this plays out. Maybe she'll address it through the music, which honestly is the smartest move she could make. Saweetie could be like, icy girl, I never busted down for money. Net worth 4M's, gotta stack my hundreds. I don't know, some shit like that, right? Because in 2025, the worst thing you can do is crash out emotionally on social media. So just put it into the music, right? And good on the icy girl for not crashing out, right? Actually, salute her, man. Salute to a real bitch for keeping it player, okay? So, this was definitely the smartest way to respond if you ask me, okay? But I'm curious what y'all think. Do y'all agree with how Saweetie handled this? Should she have responded like this or stayed completely silent? And on top of that, what are your thoughts on everything I spoke about regarding sugar daddy culture being normalized? Do you personally see it as two grown adults making a transaction, or do you think it's actually dangerous for, let's say, younger girls watching all this going down? Like, what are the pitfalls with that kind of stuff being normalized in society? I'm very curious to hear what you have to say. Let me know in the comments.
It's definitely a risky business, you know. If things like that were regulated somehow, hey y'all, just let me know what y'all think in the comments about whether this should be a legal thing or not, or if it's a bad thing. I want to know y'all thoughts too.